Where's my thing? Anybody home? Let's see. Welcome in. Anybody here, please like, comment, and please subscribe. Also hit that like button. Let's see. Papa on. Papa on. Papa's not on. So it is about 9 a.m. East Coast time, 6 a.m. Washington, West Coast time. And here we be. I actually got some work to do today too, but I might not get to it. I put my wife to bed about 10 o'clock last night. Usually don't fall asleep with her, but I passed out with her and slept for an hour or so. Got up and was feeling like a zombie, and I went and sat in my chair for a bit and totally passed out and slept 6 hours sitting up in the chair. But woke up from that and I was still kind of sleepy and thought, fuck, I'll just go lay down and sleep some more. That would have been, nice to get like another hour maybe. But I kind of woke up and thought, come downstairs, have a cigar, and talk to y'all nice people who aren't here. So, see if anybody wants to roll in. Anybody home? Anybody home? I don't fucking work. I don't get my work done. And, how's he in the fucking schedule? Let's see. I know y'all are in here somewhere. You're just not talking to me yet. So feel free to leave a comment so I know you're in here, because I'm doing paperwork while you, but not really paperwork because it's not made out of paper anymore. I'm doing. Anybody home? I'll fucking start it again in a minute. Fuck y'all. No, but seriously. If nobody's here, maybe everyone's at work. But I know y'all a bunch of fucking slackers and ain't working. Well, you're here. I'm just gonna keep working over here on this other thing. Papa, what's going on? Let's see, 6:15 is now 6:15. Papa, not a whole lot is going on, is what's up. Um, as y'all come in, be sure to like, comment, thank you, Papa. That's very sweet of you to add a comment for us. Um, I got, so I was on for about 35 minutes. We had started with about 9, dropped down to 1. So I had one of Bear was in here, and we were talking about hunting season. And that's sort of what's going on here is I got my 300 blackout, 16-inch 300 blackout AR on the right. That was my hunting rifle. Um, oh shit! You got kids in emergency room. They all woke up sick, so better safe than sorry. Well, fuck yeah, especially fuck yeah. So yeah, so I just basically put out my hunting rifles, or a couple of my hunting rifles. That's the I carried that AR's 300 blackout. I carried that on opening day last season, and this is the 6.5 Creedmoor that I got on the left. That I Howa 1500 6.5 Creedmoor that I got set up for this season. Although it turned out that we ain't going out on opening day because got my dad moving up from Texas on Sunday. So he's setting up a room for him on Saturday. So I don't have, but hunting day, opening day here is for buck deer season is this Saturday. So thinking about that a lot, but ain't going out. So anyway, I put some guns out. They say it's sinuses waiting on discharge papers, then back home. Right on. That's a tough morning. I do have two tabs open. One's me, one's you, and I saw you weren't going. Not that I'm a big draw or would be taking a lot off of you if you were, or anything away from your stream. But I'm glad you're on my stream. You can, we can visit here, and if you got a minute, and then, I don't know that anyone from your stream will come into my stream, or if you open one up, I'll turn you on for the commentary, because I'm actually I was doing paperwork on mine because nobody was here, so I just have it up and was rather than getting up and starting it again, which is something I might do. I got another tab open. I was getting my charts done, getting my notes done from my meetings yesterday, which I would have done last night, except I passed out and didn't wake up till about 5, and then I was going to go back to sleep even then. I was like, no, let me come downstairs and run a quick live. Oh God, everyone's okay. My wife had a sinus infection last week. I had not a sinus infection, but I had like an upper tooth. My upper front tooth got an infection, a ton of freaking swelling, which has never happened to me before, and it's at the site of a root canal from when I was like 15 or something, so 12 years old. So I got a referral to a surgeon because they can't go in from the bottom from the tooth and redo the root canal because there's a metal post in there holding the tooth on. So they're going to go in through my gum or through some other part of my face. That should be fun. I won't have a stream till afternoon, bro. Getting all my running done so I can get back to the home front. LOL. Yeah, I get that. I ain't stressing on you. And you don't need to, like shit. If I'm look at my stream, it's just me and you, and I'm glad we have a minute to talk. And if you have that minute, and if you don't, because you got a bunch of kids and stuff and things going on, feel free to jump out. But so this was weird. It wasn't like a tooth hurt. My tooth was weirdly numb and kind of painful. Like my front left one, when I would hold a cigar, I could feel it. It was just a weird kind of pain feeling, and I was just feeling around up there, and I went higher up, right under my nostril actually, and it was like fucking had a little Easter egg of swelling on there. So I went to the doctor, and they gave me some antibiotics and a prescription to some kind of endosurgeon. I don't know, fucking bullshit. I mean, it's like I don't want to be talking about all this shit. But yeah, you're in the parking lot smoking. Good for you. I'm in my my garage with the garage doors open, and I just fired up the cameras and pulled a couple of guns out. Like I was thinking about my what I wanted to put out, and right now it's all like hunting rifles on my mind. That actually was not the hunting rifle I was going to pull out, but the other one's green and would have matched this one really good. So I'm kind of torn between putting out. So like my theme lately is sort of old and new, where I'm trying to get or AR platforms and bolt guns, which I guess kind of had an eye tooth get inflamed, the one that goes into the sinus area. Yeah, no, that's why I mentioned it, because it's kind of like because I had stuff in my sinuses too. And it was really weird and uncomfortable. Um, that went along with the tooth infection, and I'm on antibiotics, so I know. Seems more like a sinus infection than a tooth infection. It's way the fuck up there. It's like an inch above the tooth. Everyone, oh, hold on. Okay, I'm smoking. Every one of the day, guys should be popping in soon. Focus and all them guys. Well, um, shit like this. Well, I guess you're running around. You ain't gonna. You're not even home. It'd be funny if we put up a sign that said, go to Brew. Like so your crew can come in because they're gonna look for you. Um, like point here, and we could have you on the, on my live, or we could, have it going on my, like have this be the surrogate live for you this morning. By the way, I am not a fucking morning person. Let me just get that straight. You're a morning person. You're up, like I'm usually on your stream before I go to sleep, and you're up, and part of that's the time change. But you're on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast. But um, you're usually streaming before I go to bed, and I actually weirdly had a full night's sleep last night, in my chair though. I went to bed with my wife and passed out before she did. Usually she just falls asleep at night, and I just get up and come downstairs and have a cigar. Then I'm up late, kind of like in the JD hour, waiting for JD to come on, waiting for J Dog to come on. Yeah, I'm up by 2:45. Yeah, my regular bedtime is like 2. One is my good bedtime. 2 is like get the fuck to bed. But usually in bed by 6:30 p.m. Dude, I don't get home from work till, and even like my time. I'm not even talking about your time and the time change. I didn't leave work till 6:40 today, and then we met my wife's girlfriend for dinner. Um, she's she was in town, and visiting her mom, and we took her out to dinner. Damn, I hear my kids halfway across the parking lot. Yeah, I'm sure you do. But that's kids. That's adorable. You can't. You're old, and not you. I'm old. I'm older than you are. You know what? We could rename my channel like Grandpapa's Pews. Um, but yeah. So like, I didn't get home till shit well after 8 tonight. We loading up back. If you will, y'all drive safe. You don't need to chat with me. I'm actually over there on a different tab doing my notes from today, which I didn't get to do. So I was gonna restart, but again, but I'm just doing work over on a different tab. wonder if I could get notified when somebody leaves a comment or comes in the chat. Because I'm not on the chat right now. I'm over on a different tab doing paperwork from the day. Let me just pop in. Anybody say nothing? Nobody say nothing? Hey, y'all leave a comment. Well, I'm over out doing some other work. Taking the notes from my meetings today. And so I'm not, because since nobody's here and I needed to come down and do my work. Anyhow. And when I do finish doing it, when I do get this paperwork done, I'm probably just going to do a restart while I finish my cigar. Because obviously nothing's happening over there. But, and I'm just taking some really quick notes from my meeting. Trying to So funny, I'm typing over on a different screen. So I'm typing my reply to you. Brooke, what's going on? Welcome in. Today's theme, a theme I've been having a lot lately, is hunting season. Opening day here is this coming Saturday. And so I got some of my hunting rifles out. Um, that AR platform is a 316-inch 300 blackout in almost exactly the trim that she went out in um, a year ago this Saturday on opening day. Um, and so I think the only thing different is the pistol grip that's on that lower. Um, I had a different grip on the gun a year ago, but other than that, that is my. Um, I'm trying to think if that's a new foregrip on there or not. I don't remember, but so that was my 300 blackout deer hunting rig from this past season, and then on the left is a 6.5 Creedmoor, lightweight 6.5 Creedmoor that taken out this season if I ever get out. But I got it for like timber and woods hunting, tight sight lines and short distances, inside of 100. I mean, the gun could probably be fine out to 250, 300 yards, but or so. It's just a short barrel, so it doesn't have all the muzzle velocity of a 24-inch. And actually, I bought it to hunt suppressed, and then decided I didn't want to have the can on there. So I just put a muzzle brake, and so it's probably, you know, it's with the 6-inch barrel, it probably suffers from slightly reduced muzzle velocity, but still plenty enough to get the job done in 6.5 Creedmoor for blacktail deer, which are a little smaller. That's my spiel for you this morning. I gotta type everything in and try what to use for deer season yet. Yeah, same. I mean, well, that gun on the left, well, those are both. The one on the right was perfectly zeroed, and last season, and I haven't shot it since last season probably. The lower goes out all the time, but it's, you know, the upper obviously. I think I might have shot it once since then. It was still perfectly zeroed. And then the one on the left, I don't shoot it that much, but I take it out every once in a while, and it's shooting beautifully, just beautiful zero on it. Very happy with it. I think I have. What am I fucking? I think I have it zeroed with ELD Match or ELD Hunter. Wait, what am I fucking? Oh, the ELD Hunter. What is that? ELDX. The Hornady ELDX. And which is like a 143 grain. And then I got a case of like 129 grain, which I thought might be nice in the lighter gun. And but I think I'm just sticking with the Hornady. Could be called just cause, right? But anyhow, so that was good. And I also have a 6.5 PRC for longer distances. But I mean, it's probably overkill for blacktail, but it's a beautiful Browning X bolt, you know, and with a rubber stock, polymer stock. But yeah, I got a bunch of different things that I could hunt with, or you know, that are either really good hunting rifles or could hunt with. But the Howa on the left was bought intentionally for hunting. So if I don't know how your setup is there. I assume you're, I don't know, like here we've got some really dense forests, and if you check, I put up a short a few days ago from when I was sitting in my blind last opening day a year ago, in the alder thicket, the alder grove that we were hunting down on the river bottom. We were set up mini blinds in this timber, and it's actually a really nice video. It was like, I took it, it was probably like 11:30. I think we packed up within a half hour of that and head out. But or maybe an hour after that, but it's already like after dawn, whatever. I don't fucking know. But anyway, it just shows how freaking nice that little setup was. I want to try deer hunting with 357, but I might wait till next season. So we talking 357 lever gun or 357 um, like a revolver with long barrel revolver? Would you have like a mini scope on that? Um, I usually hunt in fence lines of fields. Um, I'm curious about that because I don't, like that's not the kind of setups we have here. Um, Beautiful. Which lever gun? Do you have the lever? Which one? I have a 357 Rossi 16-inch. That's real pretty, and I put a red dot on it. But shit, I've read that 357 is good out to about 100, yards, and oh, good, right on, beautiful. So, but what's your experience? Does what do you think is a reasonable hunting distance for a 357? I'm curious about that because there's shit that you read versus your own personal experience if you're an experienced hunter, and what do you think for 357 at a lever? And what's your barrel length on that big boy? You've got a 24. I imagine a longer. And the other thing I can't fucking find is velocities out of rifle length barrels with a 357. Everything's like for handgun hunting, so I haven't been able to see what realistic velocities are, and for drops and stuff like that. Well, congratulations on just getting it. Sounds like a beautiful gun. 17.7-inch barrel. So that's like for me, I would consider, so first of all, let's say 30-30 lever for 100 years or more, 150 years has, as they say, taken more deer than any other platform or cartridge on the planet. Probably not the planet, but certainly in this country. I've heard it's good to 150. That's what I heard. It's exactly what I heard. And 150 is probably, you know, inside of 150 is probably, 80, what a large percentage of what you see. Um, but yeah, and lever guns are fast. They're agile. They're fast. You can carry the shoulder quickly, and all that. And I have a 308 lever. I have a boxwood 308 lever with I think an 18-inch barrel, but it's a bigger gun, and I have a 4 to 16 on it. I think. That's like a Western hunting lever gun. Um, anyway, and that's another hunting rig I could use, but I probably won't just um, because I got that little 6.5 Creedmoor sitting there that is just perfect. It's basically it's got a very similar feel to it. It's like a compact basically. It's a small gun. It's really lightweight. It's like under 7 pounds with the scope on it. Um, and it's fast like a lever gun. It doesn't I won't say it feels like a lever gun because lever guns, it feels like a bolt gun. It's like in your hands the stock's really rounded and all that. Where lever guns got sort of a rectangular feel in my hands, if that makes any sense. Um, but it doesn't feel like a lever, but it handles like a lever. It feels like a bolt. Um, but a really little bolt, like a kid's bolt action. But it's a 6.5 Creed, and it's only got a 60-inch barrel, so it does lose some velocity. Um, but it's also 6.5 Creed doing about 2,400 feet per second. So it's still probably got more than a 357 in it. Let's see, bullet grains about the same. What the fuck am I thinking here? Yeah, I got a 143 or 147. And what are you going to run for a 357 is like, I think, a 158 grain, right? You know, are you looking at, I mean, they don't, like, 357 is kind of a pistol round here. You know, you're not, like, very much, but, like, I know they do 357 hunting rounds, but they're still pistol rounds. They're still round nose pistol rounds, or wad cutters, or whatever. But you know, and so they do make hunting rounds for them, and a hollow point would certainly expand. I don't know, you know, probably right at impact, but I don't know if you'd hunt with a hollow point. What would you hunt with? Since we're talking about this, what would you? What have you thought about a load for that gun? Would you just be buying factory loads, or would you reload a 357 for a hunting application? And do they make game type bullets? You know, like a bonded copper, like a A-frame or something that would expand like a hunting bullet, rather than a hollow point, which would probably get done. You have a big fucking hole. Take out. You imagine hunting with all the petals coming off and shit. That thing would take out. You know, if it's a small dude, take out a bunch of fucking meat. Honey makes 140 grain 357 specifically for lever. Oh yeah, lever evolution. Yeah, that's probably what I'd use. Have they published? I imagine, you know, if they're doing lever evolution on the box, you know, would they be publishing pistol type velocities, or would they be publishing uh, rifle barrel velocities? I'm gonna look. I'm gonna take a look here. Let's see. I'm doing all this on my laptop, so I'm in the chat. I can type in the chat. Lever evolution. Let's look at 357. 357. I want to see velocity. And I just don't think it's going to land where I want it to land, but let's see. Tubular ammunition is designed for tubular magazines known for exceptional accuracy, energy retention, providing up to 40% more energy than traditional loads. But they got a 357. Oh, it's FTX, lever evolution. But let's see ballistic chart. I don't know if it's going to say the barrel length. You know, it's sort of like a no man's land, right? Like they're talking about, you know, and it's not showing what your barrel length is. I have to dig deeper in this to see if they have a barrel length with it. On the box it says 250 feet per second for most pistol cartridges. I think 2,500 feet per second, maybe? Oh, adds 250. Oh, I see. So, if you got, say, a 6-inch pistol, and you run it out a 16-inch barrel or an 18-inch barrel, you'd expect to get a lot more than 250 feet per second out of it. I think you get maybe, 250? What do you get, about 50 feet per, 40, 50 feet per second per inch of barrel. So you'd expect to get a lot more, but you don't have, you know, rifle size case volume. So I don't fucking know. Seriously, like, I read this shit and I, you know, study it and I try to use it, but I'm not the most experienced hunter by far. I think we should send it. I'm gonna give it a follow Ron Splomer. Are you familiar with like, he's sort of my guru on this shit, like Ron Spomer Outdoors, that would be a good question to ask him because he could fucking deep dive on it. I bet he already has, but that's a great question. I think it means if you get 16, yeah, well, I agree with you that is, but it just seems like if you had added 10 inches of barrel, you should get a lot more than 250 feet per second in terminal muzzle velocity, because I think you get, that's what I'm trying to say, is like I think you get more than 250. I think you'll get 200 feet per 250, with a 4-inch increase in muzzle length. So if you went from a 6-inch to a 16-inch, that's 10. You should get shit, 500 feet per second or 600 feet per second increase. But if we were talking about a rifle, the difference between a 16-inch rifle barrel and a 24 or 26-inch rifle barrel should be a lot more than 250 feet per second. If you just put a can on the end of a 16-inch rifle, you should get about 200 feet per second. So, that's what I'm saying. But maybe it's just because, maybe that's sort of a conservative number. But why would they put up conservative numbers on this particular cartridge when all their fucking published, like everything it says on the box, is 100 to 150 feet per second shy of what you're actually getting. I have a chrono, right? So, I have a Garmin C0, so I put that thing out, and it's always 100 feet per second slower out of the muzzle than the advertised velocity. So why then? It's going to add 250. Why would they? Why would they be offering you an accurate number now when they're full of shit on the front end to begin with? FV, Mason, what's up? Bruce, what's up? FV, welcome in. Glad you made it. We're talking deer season. We got here in this state opening day is this Saturday. Getting all pumped up for it. Mason, when does your season open? Is it this week or next? It's already, I guess archery season's already going on, but that's sort of a blind spot for me because I don't bow hunt at all. I'm way too fat to be climbing trees. I'm too old. I need a fucking staircase. Hold on, I'm cleaning my glasses so I can see this shit. And I'm having my cigar here, but most people might say, "Oh fuck, what did you smoke a cigar first thing morning?" Now, this is still last night for me. Mason, I finally got the Stifler slide. I know what's caused the issue you were having. I'm about to go down and fix it. So, do you guys know each other? Are you guys tight, or it sounds like, are you fixing Mason's slide? And I'm curious what it is, because I've done a lot of fucking work on Glocks. What was the issue? Yeah, that's the question. What are we thinking the issue is here? And what was it doing? Cheryl, tell me, because I'm fucking interested in this shit. I fixed so much Glock shit. It's not even fun. Not Glocks, actually, because my Glocks run great because I don't fuck with them too much. I did a ton of work on the trigger on my Glock 48, which is strapped on right now. But I don't fuck with Glock slides. I kind of, like my Glock 47, I put a Glock performance trigger in it and a red dot on it, and I didn't change a thing. But all the shit that I built, I've had to work on. All the slides I've had, ordered as blank slides, and everything I fucking said, all the shit that I did on daggers, which was basically I learned everything, I learned so much fucking shit about Glocks, setting up daggers. On one we have, it's a poorly machined barrel. Oh, that sucks. Looks like a caveman cut the chamber. That is because of extraction issues, chambering issues, and contributing to light strikes. Oh, wow. Well, so confirmed by using 4 other barrels I have and ran without any failures. Well, that's a fairly easy thing to fix, right? I mean, you could get just buy a different barrel. I bought like eBay barrels that ran great, like $50 eBay barrels that ran great. Oh my god, the fucking worst problems I ever had was buying a bunch of cheap fucking eBay parts and like a rainbow barrel for a rainbow slide, that rainbow oil slick shit, because I built a Glock 19 for my wife for Valentine's Day, and yeah, but you could get you could get good barrels for. I mean, like they got all. You just get that shit on eBay or from any distributor, and there's a whole gamut um, of barrels available out there, and you should even like take off Glock barrels. You can just get a Glock barrel, and that's good shit. You can get all kinds of decent shit out there, right? And even some of the less expensive companies have stuff that runs well, just not that particular piece. And if you remember whose barrel it was, or if you know whose barrel it was, you can tell us. The other thing too is instead of buying rando stuff on eBay, I kind of switched to just getting more dagger stuff, like buying dagger slides and extractors and things like that. Just buying shit from Palmetto State, because their stuff runs. Their stock stuff is decent, in my opinion. Thanks for the info. I'll get a different barrel and see. The fired brass has deep gouging and scratching. I'm gonna get my kit out for a polish chamber. Right on. We'll retest. Would be willing to fix yours for you. I'm pretty sure my RXM barrel should fit. To test if it's the barrel, if you could fix mine too, it would be greatly appreciated. Shit, the live was started at the beginning of. I don't know what you're saying there, bro. 15 minutes ago. It should fit. Try it, sure. Well, yeah, probably. I mean, blocks are everything. So our RXMs are just like daggers, right? In that everything are not the same as daggers, but they're the same as daggers in that everything from a Glock would fit on an RXM, and everything from an RXM would fit on a Glock. Is that true? And I'm just confused because it's a separate fire control unit, and I've never seen the Ruger. Mostly because once I started buying Glocks, I quit buying the daggers and fucking with all that shit. I think the only exceptions I bought some kind of, what the fuck, I don't even know who made it. I bought a 43X barrel, a 43X sliding barrel. What did I get? I think I got what the fuck did I get? I think I got a 43X length barrel for the slide for the 48. That's probably a dagger. And I just put it on my 48 frame and ran it. I didn't like it, and I haven't done anything with it since. I ran it once and I popped this. And I had I still have I have these glasses are just not getting clean. I had a Canik MC9, and I hated that fucking thing, and I think for multiple reasons, but similarly 43X is super snappy, where the 48 is not. The 48 runs like a champ, and is very smooth to shoot. And you take what, a half inch off the barrel, and the thing goes to shit. So, like, I thought the 43X was super snappy, and like way snappier than I would have thought it would be. Um, and so I just put the 48 slide on it, and it runs great, and I haven't gone back. Yeah, well, all right, so I believe RXM slides are compatible with Gen 3 parts, but the FCU doesn't accept Glock triggers or anything like that. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're saying and trying to say, is that the slide and the barrel and all that works, but their FCU is their FCU, and it's like a separate fire control unit. It's not like the Glock frame. And yeah, I totally agree. That's what I've heard too. So what barrel is it? Is it? It sounds like from the way FE was describing it, the like an aftermarket barrel, or is it like an aftermarket build or an eBay build? What do you guys make? What are you guys working with there? Is it not a actual Glock barrel? And by the way, PSA does, or at least used to sell just barrels. You could get like a standard PSA barrel, or they have like Saphiris and some aftermarket, higher end, but they're just not expensive. If you wanted to get, like, you get eBay parts, but um, I just figured um, Dagger parts are kind of a more standard um, thing than you're going to get from rando eBay parts, just because you know they sell their shit with their shit's got to run, or bone stock. What do you call it? Bone stock daggers do run. Oh shit! So yeah, exactly. Well, I'm glad that. So everything I've seen on the Stifler barrel looks beautiful, and the prices are great. But I'm sorry to hear um, the barrel sucks. I hate hearing that, because I would have really liked to hear that the Stifler stuff's excellent. But I've heard of SCT. I just can't remember where. Is that is that like an eBay company? eBay type company? Well, sounds like a warranty issue. But if that's all they sell, then it ain't gonna get any better. Or I wouldn't burn them, a few weeks time, waiting for another of the same. Like, if I got a barrel from a company and it sucked, I wouldn't get another barrel from them, hoping it was better. Yeah, they're. Oh wait, yeah, the slide is great, and their prices are insane, right? Like, even on the scale of eBay prices, their slides are extremely well. Like, their higher end Cerakoted slide is still less than most of the rando shit you see on eBay. So, I mean, they're building a brand, and it looks like their stuff looks really good. And from the website and the lives, and their prices are excellent, um, like super competitive. I'd rather, like, I'd buy it if I was gonna buy a slide, and like right now, if I had a Gen 3 project going and I was looking for a slide, I'd get a Stifler slide in a heartbeat over most of the shit that I see out there. Although and I did buy. I have gotten a couple of slides that were like rando or low bid prices. Like scored them, and it was like $150. You know, it could have might as well have been toilet paper. Like the slides that I got two slides that one, two. They don't fucking run at all, at all. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, trying for a little while, fuck with them for a minute, and then I just fucking just throw them in a bin and be like, okay, well maybe I'll fuck with this another day, or I'll, if somebody's looking for like a cheap part or something, or they need something, I'll send it to them, and let them fuck with it, you know. But yeah, the Stifler slides do look great. I got one. I think it was a 43x slide. It was my first effort, and it's really pretty. It's like beautiful FDE Cerakote, and it's got like fish scales instead of serrations. The thing looks beautiful, and it don't fucking run. And I don't even remember what. It just seemed like it was too tight, and I was gonna have to lap it, or or polish it or something on the rails, and um, put a bunch of rounds through it, hoping it would get better, and just wasn't making fast enough gains, and I just set it aside. No shit, FV. So I had a shop for years. I built custom competition firearms. So what, like 100-yard guns, or 20, like everything, or what'd you build? And you still gunsmithing? Paul Wick, what is up, my brother? Paul, yep. Tell me, because so I can talk here. Everyone's type, yo, Paulie Walnuts, what's up? Man, your slide. So, Paulie, I gotta say, your lives have been fire lately. You've just been killing it. And that display you had the other night with the bowl, with the round thing, that looked really visually. That was really good. I thought that would really draw people into your lives. Like if you were scrolling, that was worth stopping and looking at for a minute. And so really nice set there. Precision rifles and pistols for ISPA and IDPA, right on. Um, I was actually thinking about renaming the channel, and I'm gonna rename the channel at some point, because Bruce Banner 6149 is a little bit weak, really, as far as like that was fine as a username, and I just picked a username. But since I'm developing the channel and kind of getting the flavor and all that, and wanting it to be more professional, I was looking at some kind of theme for like precision rifles on a budget, because precision is kind of a big part of what I'm doing now, like basically building PRS guns, and you know, um, so and shooting them, because I've been doing 600-yard competition. We have the the club I joined a few months ago has a 600-yard, 550 members range, and then they have a competition set up on the other side of the trees that runs out to the same targets, and it's 600 yard, and we're doing 600 yard. We got 600 yard monthly 600 yard bench rest competitions. So I've been building guns for the 600 yard bench rest, and really digging that. And I have a new barrel coming from the gunsmith this week. Wait, what's today? Today's Wednesday. It would be ready today, but I'm working today. I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow morning, and that's like just an outlier barrel. Outliers like the hardware side of Arkin. You're probably familiar with it, but it's like supposedly inexpensive, like like inexpensive barrels, and But this barrel's not inexpensive because I got it as a blank, and the gunsmithing fees are right up. Getting it chambered and stuff is right up there. You might as well be buying, like, yeah, okay, save $100 on the barrel, but you're paying the same gunsmithing fees, so you might as well be getting a premium barrel. And I haven't shot it yet. If it shoots great, it doesn't matter who made it or what the fuck it is, right? Because shoots great is shoots great. But I just as soon bought a higher end name brand barrel, because by the time I spend $500 at the gunsmith, or whatever it is, 350. I might as well be putting that into a better barrel. All I'm saving is $100 on the cost of the blank. Man, fucking getting tired of talking here. But anyhow, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about because you do this shit, right? So more like, if you're gonna put the money into the gunsmithing, you might as well be starting with a higher percentage barrel, because at the point you're done, you're fucking got, like if this barrel doesn't shoot, I'm gonna have to fucking get another one anyway. So I might as well have been starting with a higher end barrel that was a higher percentage chance. So I got a good barrel in my first, PRS gun. I call it a PRS gun, but it's like a bench rest gun masquerading as it could be a bench rest gun if it was in a bench rest stock, but it's going in a MDT chassis. So anyhow, I got my first 6mm Creed, 6 Creedmoor coming tomorrow, and I'm gonna zero it on Friday, and maybe even do a little see how it does at 550, and then we'll have a pretty good idea what we got. But my thing is, like, I'm shooting 600, and I just started like 6 months ago, so I'm like a baby when it comes to fucking long distance shooting, if you can consider 600 long distance. But so right now I'm doing. So last Saturday there was a 1,000-yard competition, last one of the season, but I was down in California visiting my kid, so I couldn't do that. But that's like right now I'm doing the 600-yard competitions and trying to get that whole thing dialed in. The shooting part isn't hard, but being set up and ready to go and having your your process set where you're getting a little heat in the barrel and doing in the practice round and getting a little heat in and getting your zero dial, make sure you're on, and then being ready to go when when the competition relay starts. Like that whole part is much more of a process that is harder to get dialed in than putting your crosshairs on the target and pulling the trigger. Like the shooting process is fairly stable, but the for FV, I mean, if you're building competition firearms and you shoot at that level as well, I assume you do, then one thing isn't necessarily the same as the other, but I assume you have, you probably have that experience too. Having your competition process down, because it's stressful, because anytime the timer's running, whether it's IDPA or USPSA or long distance, that's adding a lot of stress. So you probably know what I'm talking about, like that whole, like that, like I'm dialing that in now, and then in the spring I'm gonna go to 1,000-yard prone instead of 600-yard bench rest, and I haven't shot prone since I was a little kid, so I might even include some training to be able to do that, because I'm losing a lot of weight, but I used to be so fat I couldn't lay prone because I couldn't fucking breathe. But that's all a lot better because I'm down about 50 pounds. It makes a huge difference. Um, so Paulie Walnuts 600 yard is definitely distance in my opinion. We post match footage almost weekly. That's fucking awesome. And FE wrote, and Paul Wick, I shoot 400 plus maybe 3 or 4 times a year, not nearly enough to speak on it. Well, it is enough to speak on it, Paulie, because it's your experience and it's valid, right? I mean, you may not be a pro at it, but weren't we talking like you shot a 6.5 Creedmoor out at something 600, 400, something like that? I remember something. Um, and it's valid because like part of this is that we're all on our different paths, right? And um, it sounds like I'm just finding out. I didn't know. I'm just finding out. FV's got a ton of experience in this, but like you and I are, you shoot maybe 3 or 4 times a year at 400 plus. I just joined a range a couple of months ago that has a 550, and it's super user friendly. It's open 7 days a week. Everyone's a range officer, so I can go down there. It's not like you have to go to a range where there's a range safety officer at the line who's calling paper checks every 20 minutes. And if you look at my shorts from the last month or so, I'll be out there on a Sunday afternoon and no one's there, or no one's on the range, and I have the whole 100 yard range to myself, and I can do all kinds of shit with it, and I just go cold whenever I want and walk out and do paper, do video with the paper and show my stuff. And ooh, cool. What did that just say? I sent a barrel back to Bear Creek because it wasn't shooting at all. I had like a 308 barrel or upper, and it was like 3 away, and I was like, fuck this. And I sent it back to him, and I just had a little thing flash across my screen saying something changed, and I didn't get to read it. I didn't see what it said. So I'm going to go back and see that because I want to know what the fuck's happening with that thing. Let's see. Paul Wick, 1,265 yards with 6.5 Creed. That was around 2 years ago. That's fucking awesome. That is awesome. Were you shooting steel or were you shooting paper at 1,265 yards? Yeah. So Paul Wick took 4 shots to hit 2 foot by 1 foot steel. Okay, so I'm not going to do the math on 1,200, but well, actually, it's real easy math. So 1 MOA, right, which is you want any barrel you have shooting at 1 MOA or better. Preferably half an MOA is like a nice, or less. Quarter MOA would be fucking awesome, right? So 1 MOA is a 1-inch square at 100 yards. And that's why most of those grid targets have 1-inch grids on them. So 1 MOA at 1,000 yards is a 10-inch square. So if you're hitting anything within a 10-inch square at 1,000 yards, you're still shooting a 1 MOA barrel. If your aim is accurate, all the rounds that you can put in a 1-inch square are going to be inside of a 10-inch square at 1,000 yards. And at 1,265 yards, it's going to be a 12.65 inch grid. So our 12.65 inch box, that's still your same 1 inch at 100 is 12.65 inches at 1,265 yards. So you're shooting, so basically you're still, if you were hitting, if you hit it once and it doesn't really tell you anything, but if you hit it twice or 3 times within a 1 foot box or 13-inch square box, you're still shooting 1 MOA. And then anything less than that is a nice determination of accuracy, in my opinion. So I put 4-inch clay pigeons out on the back berm of the 550-yard range, and 4 inches at 600 yards is like 0.66 MOA. And so, and they use electronic shot marker targets um, for the competitions, and some of the guys in the club that shoot in the competitions also have the shot marker targets. So that's kind of what the target stands are at the berm, but they don't have any of those for, it's like an $800 target and you have to bring your own. But I'm thinking for this week, especially if I go on Friday, I'm just going to take one of the wood stake target stands and put a paper target up and see if I can. I gotta like kind of scavenge that and run it out there, but or at least put whatever to see what we can group with this new barrel. Okay, I'm getting fucking icky here. Paul started from high left and dialed in. Wasn't center mass, but around center. Also hit the corner of the target, but it wasn't counted. All right, man, that's something, right? Yeah, they had some sort of thing on the steel that called hits on like a beeper thing. Well, there's like I don't know that much about it, but if you were shooting a steel plate, a lot of times what they do, I think Hornady makes it, and probably a few other people make it. It's like the flashing light that would, when it gets hit with the bullet, the light flashes, and I don't know about the beeper. So I usually put my wife to bed around 9 or 10, and I don't fall asleep. And when she falls asleep, I come downstairs, have my cigar, and that's why I'm usually on at like, you know, between 10 and 1 a.m. my time, which on the East Coast is going to be 1 to 3 a.m. y'all's time. And today I fucking slept for an hour with her, and then got up to come downstairs and stopped at my chair and sat down and passed out and slept for 5 hours in my chair. So, so, and I'm smoking a cigar right now, and it's like 7. It's almost 8 in the morning. But I'm just filing disclaimer. This is not an 8 in the morning cigar. This is my last night cigar at 8 in the morning. Yeah, so it didn't beep, but it lit up when the target feels pressure, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. And Hornady makes one that's pretty popular from what I can tell, but there's a bunch of other ones out there too. Okay, so I just got a note from Bear Creek that they're processing my warranty claim. So, I sent a barrel back to or sent an upper back to Bear Creek, and hopefully they send me another barrel or another upper. So, I belong to a key club. So I think that what you're describing is what I'm describing, where you show up, you have a key to the gate, and you have the whole range at your access. Is that what a key club is? And that's what I'm talking about, where um, you know there may be there's a caretaker who lives in a trailer on site. This can be nice, but he's often grumpy too, a little grumpy. Um, But yeah, you have like a like an electronic, your the thing that hangs around your neck. You got your membership card, and then attached to it is an electronic key, and you flash that on the gate, and unlock the gate opens up, and then you got the whole freaking facility at your disposal. And sometimes there's people there, and sometimes they're not, and it's fucking awesome. And it's beautiful there too. It's way down the six. You look at some of my range video, and there's just like forest behind it. It's wonderful. Well, well, well. The official ammo alchemist has entered the chat. Kablamo. What up, brother? Did you do a big competition last weekend? I remember something about you were doing something. You were getting ready for something. How'd your thing go? Was it last weekend? Um, also, so it's supposed to start raining this week. Um, and by that I mean we've had like the seasons here are not like East Coast at all, and I mean at all. So we have summer for about 10 to 12 weeks that you get from July 5th to the middle of September, and sometimes it starts raining in the middle of September. But and usually it starts raining by the first day of autumn. The switch flips and it starts raining. That's the 21st of September. And I think we've had like 1 or 2 days of rain, but nothing, right? So meanwhile, in the last week, we went from high 70s last week, the end of last week, and then I was gone for the weekend, so I don't know what the fuck the weather did here. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we went like 77, 67. Today might supposed to be 57. Tomorrow's supposed to be 53. And then Friday, the rain's supposed to start, and the temperature's supposed to keep going down. Um, or and that's it, right? So when I say the rain starts, I mean the rain starts, and it'll be fucking raining 6.5 days a week for the next 6 months. So and it feels like it right now, like it's not just a cool morning. It's actually kind of chilly out. It's got that feel in the air, and so anyway, I've been buying all this reloading stuff. My buddy sold me a box of reloading stuff because he had got a new press and all that. And then I've been filling in all the pieces that I didn't see in the box. And I think I'm pretty full now. I think I got a full setup. And it was, so as soon as the rain starts, with the exception of all the other shit that life throws in the way, I'm talking to you, Emma, I'm putting together my reloading bench over here in my garage, like over there. So I'm gonna start. And I got fucking dies for almost every caliber I shoot. Rifle caliber. I didn't get any pistol caliber because pistol shit's cheap. And I got a ton of it. But except I have a barrel coming in 6 Creed tomorrow, and I haven't got those dies yet. But anyhow, I'm excited to see you here in the chat. I'm just saying that I'm gonna be putting together my reloading bench, and then I'll be like hitting you and Hampty and Kenny, and I'll be like talking to everybody about reloading and learning what the fuck I'm doing because I'm gonna start loading for a competition. Or that's my plan anyway. So FV, are you so you said you had a shop, like a gunsmithing shop, for years. Are you still taking work, or do you do it as a hobby now, or you just have like you just have private clients or a few guys that you still take stuff for, or you're done, or you're just hobbying it now? What's your What's your, if you don't mind sharing, what's your current status on gunsmithing? You're closed. All right, gotcha. So you're not doing it at all, like just your own stuff and maybe a couple, some friends stuff. Okay. Bro, smoking cigars is fucking had the ash, like totally ash bombed myself. You can see it just went up in a puff of smoke. Um, yeah. And this cigar is like drawing really kind of hard. And I'm fucking like getting dizzy drawing on it. Well, since you typed closed, I'm not going to ask anything else about it, or maybe occasionally or whatever, or ask you questions about stuff because you probably know more than all of us about rifles and guns. But I ain't gonna ask anything more about your shop stuff because to me, like closed is closed. Like if somebody says they closed it, they're done, they're closed. It's like done, right? So we aren't gonna bother you about it at all. So anyhow, what kind of projects we all working on? Need some good starter cigars, man. I'm tired of rolling papers and tobacco. LOL. Well, you know, I the short version is Macanudos. Macanudo is um, kind of a premium cigar, but also very mild. It's like a great starter cigar. Granted, I feel like I'm the devil, leading you down the primrose path to hell, because I started with, I saw my dad in Vegas 30 years, 1996, and he bought me like a 5 pack of Macanudos, and I smoked one or two in the casino with them, took a few home, smoked them when I was like out at night walking my dogs, and 30 years later, I'm smoking, still smoking 2 or 3 cigars a day, and so I don't, I don't wish that for you. But since you asked, that is the answer. Like that's like a you want to get a cigar. If I was somebody said, hey, what's a good cigar for somebody who's new? I'd say Macanudos are great. Yes, I'll spell it for you. Macanudo is, well, I could type it too. But Macanudo is like a really good cigar. It's got a really good mild flavor profile, and you'll enjoy it. And there's a lot of less expensive cigars are shitty cigars, and so you end up, not having a good experience. So I can spell it for you because uh, I'm in the chat as well as on the live because I got my phone doing the live, but I'm sitting here in my comfy chair with my laptop open, and I'm doing the chat from here, so I don't have to stand over and bent over looking at my phone and shit. I just got my laptop open and I'm doing the chat this way, so I can chat. In the chat, you can type in the chat, which I find very funny because yesterday morning I was in my chat. There's no one here, and so I popped into Papa's chat, but and so Papa was playing through my speakers, and the mic on my phone is open, so I basically had Papa doing the like instead of me talking, I had Papa talking, and it was playing through my live, and it's on my live. So yeah. So the humidors are the rooms, right? They're basically temperature and humidity controlled, and they're gonna have fuck tons of cigars, and the cigar shops tend to be kind of expensive. But you can buy shit online at Cigar Bid, and that stuff's uh, way cheaper. Like, I pay $3 to $4. You buy a 5 pack or a 10 pack, and it helps to buy, a box. Well, fuck it, just go to the cigar store, buy a few cigars, and like I would say, definitely, like you get a Macanudo, it can't go wrong. It's going to cost you 10, 12, $15, whatever. And if you ask if the guy who's working there is knowledgeable, you tell him you want some stuff in that along the lines of that. First, I would just get that. So it's mild but good flavor, like well blended. It's got some flavor. It's got a good flavor profile, but the overall strength is not so much that it's going to knock your dick in the dirt. And that's just a very dependable place to start. Any of their sizes, don't go real small like cigarillo size. Get something, about the size of a shot shell, thickness wise, or not quite that big even, but like get something about the size of a 20 gauge shot shell, as far as the thickness around goes, and that'll be good. Doesn't have to be like a full 12 gauge, but I think 12 gauge is about 50 caliber, which is about 50 ring gauge on a cigar. And I'm going to check that. Yeah, when you say fruity and I say fruity, we're talking about very different things. Like the cigar that I'm smoking right now is an Espinosa 601 Kryptonite, and it's supposed to be a very strong cigar, but it's not all that strong. And it is a little bit fruity. I kind of describe it as kind of a little bit of a cherry flavor. But I ain't talking about like how Swishers are fucking grape flavored. So we're talking about a whole different world of flavors where we're talking about finely blended, very, very expertly blended cigars with, different flavor profiles. And this one has a little bit of a cherry flavor to it. Is not the same as like a cherry or a grape flavored Swisher that's like all that flavor. It's like we're talking about flavors within the tobacco, not flavor added kind of thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So what y'all working on? What are we all building? What projects have we got going on? I have a 6 Creedmoor Outlier barrel coming tomorrow with a Howa 1500 action on it, and it's going in the Outlier chassis with a heavily weighted buttstock. Like a 2-pound weight on the buttstock. I think even with a 26-inch bull barrel, 1.2-inch bull barrel, it's going to be a little rear heavy, and the thing should be a fucking slug. I'm guessing probably at least 15 pounds on the gun. And I have, I think it deserves an Arkin scope because it is basically, Arkin is the parent company of Outlier. But so that thing would be a full Arkin build, except I have a brand new 8x40 Burris XTR scope that I'm really looking forward to trying. So I'm going to put that on the gun. I think ultimately it'll end up with a 7x35 Arkin EP5 on it, but I'm putting that Burris 8-40 on it because I really want to shoot that thing. And I think it's going to be a great scope. I got to finish my 223 Wild AR. Right? Tell us about that. So what barrel, did you go with like an 18-inch barrel on the 223 Wild? I throw 18 out there because that's a pretty common number for a 223 Wild. I think you'll like it. Shaw is rebarreling it for channel, polishing the 9mm barrel. So I don't understand what is Shaw is rebarreling it for channel. For the channel? Cool. I've heard of Shaw barrels actually. So oh wait, sorry, I didn't even see that. Okay, pardon me. So I thought I was still replying to Polly. So Effie Ordnance, waiting on my 308. Shaw is rebarreling it for your channel. and polishing the 9mm barrel. Very nice. So hooked up with them at GunCon. Very nice. So tell us about this. So is this what platform is this 308? Is it a bolt gun or like a 308 for an AR? So I got so the theme of my channel basically, and I'm going to rename it something along these lines, is like kind of precision rifle builds for poor for poverty tier folks. So I got a bolt action 308 um, from Bear Creek Arsenal on a mil spec AR 10 lower, and I think I paid about 600 for it. And and that's pretty good. So the things you can't get AR-10s in Washington. So but it transfers as bolt action rifle, so I get it. So that was the interest in it. But the 308, so I've gotten a bunch of barrels from them that shoot great and very accurate, and I've even shot one of their bolt actions in 6 ARC in the 600-yard competition. And it's not a bench rest gun, but it holds. Everything's on paper. Um, so but I just sent a upper back to them and they got it and they're processing it because it was like 3M away and I just can't live with that. So Savage 10 FLP, 22-inch barrel, heavy contour stainless with spiral flute. So that sounds beautiful. And 308 is a 1-to-10 twist barrel. Pretty standard, whereas like as I know it, like 308 gets 1-to-10. And I wonder, like, could 308 be built as a higher performer? Would adding twists to a 308 make it more stable, and create less drop at distance? Is a thought I have, but I don't. There might be a little more to it than that because it's always going to be, 308. You're not going to, like, I guess you could, you can't stretch out the 308 bullet a lot because you're limited by your magazine length. So let me ask you a quick question here, and I think I understand this correctly. So a Savage 10 is a short action, and a Savage 110 is a long action. Is that how they do that? Like the 110s are long actions, and the 10 is the short action. Is that how that works out? So that's very interesting to me. Thank you for sharing it, Effie. Paul Beck, I went with a 10.5 inch I got from my gunsmith. It has no branding. Cool. So 10.5 inch 223 Wild sounds awesome. 1-7 twist, so I'm kind of nervous about accuracy still. No. So 1-7 twist is good. Like my understanding, 223 Wild. Like I have a 18-inch 223, and it's a 223 Wild, and it's like a 1-9. But 1-9's for a heavier bullet or a longer bullet. But if you're shooting 55 grain 5.56 as your main diet, right? Because that's kind of what's inexpensive and plentiful in 5.56. Then your 1-7 twist is going to stabilize that bullet, and you're going to need that coming out of the shorter barrel. So you're in good shape there. I don't go past 175 grain, usually 168 grain SMK. Right on. And I've been playing with everything. I think I just got a bunch of boxes of 180 grain Browning, and it, out of the guns I've shot out of, it's messy. It's just not grouping at all. Also, well, maybe it grouped okay, but I think I shot it out of that same barrel I sent back. So maybe out of a better barrel, it'll shoot better. But I'm like shooting 168 grain. Like if I had to say what has been the most accurate thing for me is, I'm always going to point at like Hornady ELDM has consistently been the best thing I can find. Like if I'm trying to figure out what a barrel's going to shoot best with, or a new barrel or something, I start with the ELDM and usually don't have to go far from that. Um, 1/7 is good for heavy bullets. There you go. 1 and 9 is good about 60 grain, and will do better with 55. So 1 and 9, so you've got less twist on a lighter bullet, and 108 is the sweet spot. So we're going to go with what FV says because he knows a lot about this shit. And it sounds like I had my understanding of it flipped, but like when you go to the 6 millimeter bullets, like the 6 GT and the 6 ARC, the longer, skinnier bullets do good with the faster twist. So I guess that's very consistent with what FV's saying. So okay, sounds good. I'll run soft 0.223 or 6.2 grain green chips. Paul Wick. FV ordnance. Don't know, haven't bought factory ammunition in over a decade. Beautiful. I love hearing you say that. And in addition to, being on a PRS journey, I didn't know it at the time, but or interest or long distance shooting for accuracy. I didn't know it at the time, but it pretty much guaranteed that I was going to be reloading, and I'm about to literally have reloading gear. As I said a minute ago, I have a box full of reloading shit. I'm about to set up a bench and start reloading, and I hope I have no fucking idea, but I hope I get that. I hope I get better than factory consistency in my velocity relatively quickly, because that, I think, is the limiting factor in my competition scores and my accuracy, is that even with Hornady ELD match, I'm running a 60 foot per second spread on 20 rounds out of the box, and I want to get that down to 20 FPS or less if I can. Like, I don't even know what is really possible or what a reasonable expectation of tight tolerance, what my FPS tolerances are going to be. Like, I have one buddy who, I think he says he's got his grain weights down to a tenth of a grain or something like that, or a half. Other guys talk about like half grain accuracy in their loading, and I don't know. Like, I haven't seen it. Like, I bought some shit, but I don't know what it is, and I haven't gotten in there and weighed it, and I don't fucking know what I got. So I don't know how accurate it'll be, but if I get the same amount of the same powder in a case, I don't know what that's going to relate to in terms of the accuracy and all that shit, and the bullet seating and all that. But I'm hoping I can, in fairly fast order, get some pretty dependable, consistent loads. Pistol Pete Worldwide has entered the chat. Hello everyone. The chat king has entered the room. What is it you call yourself? What is it? Like when I get the notification, the live legend, the chat king. What do we call it? What is the tagline now, Pete? 3 fighting champions. Ni hao. Beautiful. Everybody's here. Got the clan is in the room. Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete Worldwide. Hi, Paul. Wow, I'm excited. I don't think you've been in my live before, but I'm really excited. Stream King. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Beautiful. You're welcome in, everybody. I'm tickled because a lot of times, like, I get on at like 1 a.m. my time. It's like 3 a.m. on the East Coast, and the chat is dead. And now I have like cool people in my chat. We're having a great conversation in here. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sending the love, bringing in 3 fighting champions. Who can we call 3 fighting champions the stream queen? Stream queen, I like that. But Pete should definitely have Three Fighting Champions on the channel more, because she adds a certain wonderful presence that, obviously she's the looks in the family, and you should definitely have her. If I don't know if you can stand it, but I think your numbers will go out the roof if she's behind the camera with you more. You don't even have to do nothing. Just adds a wonderful vibe to your streams. Legendary Legends. A lot of hearts. Lots of variables. Case volume comes into play. Case volume cones come into play. Yeah, for sure. I know there's a lot of variables that I don't even know what the variables are. So the only thing that's working in my favor at the moment is that I have a F ton of once shot brass, all from it's basically, and I've heard Hornady's not the best brass to reload. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've shot a fuck ton of Hornady, and I've been keeping the brass for the last few months. So I've got a lot of it's the same brass shot from the same gun. So that's what I've got to reload in 6GT, which is my main competition caliber right now. So welcome everybody. The question on the table was, what are we building? What are our current projects? Paul, 10-inch wild, 223 wild. Sounds like a really good versatile build. 10.5. I think I built either I was building like about a 10. I think I built an 11 or an 11.5. I got a feeling it's an 11.5 Roscoe barrel on my pistol, AR pistol that I run suppressed, and I love that thing. Pistol Pete, I need to try PRS. So I'm not really doing PRS. I'm not competing in PRS at the moment. So we have a PRS park about 3 hours from here. And so what that is, it's a club that has a hillside, and they got paper targets at 1, 2, and 300 yards. And then they have a hillside with 40 steel targets out from 300 to 638 yards. And then they have about 7 shooting stations that are all, like they have, I think, 4 bench rest stations, and then they've got like a ranch gate and as one of the shooting stations, and a bunch of tractor tires as another, and basically like an angled rooftop on another, and all these various awkward positions to shoot off of. And once a month they have PRS out there, and actual competitions. So I'm building basically PRS rifles, where I have PRS chassis, like the one gun that I already have built is a 6GT with a 30-inch, 1.2-inch diameter bull barrel and a Howa action that lives in a MDT Oryx chassis. So I call that a bench rest gun masquerading as a PRS gun. So it's probably way more of a bench rest type, well, it's not I don't have a bench rest slide and all that shit, but that I compete in bench rest with it, but it'd be a heavy PRS gun. I describe it as that, because it's a 17-pound gun. So to me that's heavy, but I'm not shooting off all the obstacles I've just been shooting it. I only went to the PRS park once, and we just shot bench rest um, on the hillside targets and on the steel out to from. The wife was even hitting like 430 yards with her Axis Pro 2 in 6 arc, but it was also like 95 degrees and no shade, so she did that for an hour or so. She just like beat, like went into the truck for shade, but it was a beautiful day and everything. I think I was sunburned for about 2 months after that, but I haven't shot the obstacles yet, and I don't even know if I care, and I'm not competing in PRS. I'm competing in 600 bench rest with these guns in PRS chassis, and maybe I'll start shooting the obstacles and prone and all that shit. I was supposed to go to the PRS park this Saturday, but my dad's moving out here on Sunday, so I got to get a room ready for him in the house, and so but I'm gonna go shoot at my range, which is 550 yards. I think I got steel about 535. I have my own steel target, which I might bring out there. Whatever, I don't fucking know. Pistol Pete, oh, okay. Sounds fun. 6 arc rock. 6 arc does rock. We've got a 6 arc bolt. We've got 2 6 arc bolt guns. One's a bolt action upper on for AR lowers, and then I've got a 20-inch AR gas gun, and built essentially the same 20-inch AR gas gun for my wife, and hers was on a live the other night. It's purple. All of her guns are purple, and left side eject on the gas guns because she's a lefty. So her gun gets. I was going to do a live with just her guns out on the table, which are all lefty purple ARs. But that one purple one got a lot of love, so maybe I'll do that. I've always been embarrassed, like, that's my wife's gun, but maybe I'll be like, no, that's my purple gun, bitch. Anyway, kablamo, well, it is me, Pistol Pete Worldwide. Ammo, it is he. Kablamo, Pete Worldwide. Pistol Pete Worldwide. Ammo, Kablamo, I missed you. Paul Wick, hear ye. Kablamo, where have you been all my life? Pistol Pete Worldwide. Lurking, Kablamo, what say you? Pistol Pete Worldwide. Hear ye, Pistol Pete Worldwide. Laughter with tears. We're having it's a love fest here in the Bruce Banner Live this morning. Oh, don't stop now. Or would you all go get a room? They went into private, folks. Shh. The love is in the air. Don't. I'm sorry. Godfather and men, distinguished gentlemen, we meet again. Thank you, Godfather. Welcome in. We do indeed, and it is a thrill to have you all here. It's a thrill for me to have you all here, apparently. There's another thrill going on. A little NRE flying around the room. Pistol Pete, okay, gotta go. Take care, everyone. Pete and 3 Fighting Champions, thank you for coming in and visiting the live this morning. Thanks for coming in. I'm honored. Taking a deep bow. Thank you all very much for being here. Pete, love and safety. Paul Wick, Pete, love and safety. So I'm getting to the end of this cigar, which I didn't think was ever going to happen. kind of out of breath. I'm like, fuck, I'm a little almost winded here. Um, a quick rundown on the guns. Um, Three Fighting Champions, thank you so much for coming in. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you here. And I want you to feel free, welcome to come anytime and hang out with us. And you can bring Pete with you. He's always welcome here. I think you should be the star of the stream queen star of the show. I think the numbers go up, and you know, you just. But that's my thought, and I hope to see you more on the channel when you have a minute. Um, so just a quick rundown of the guns on the table. On the right is my 300 blackout, 16-inch 300 blackout AR rig with as a deer hunting rig that I carried on opening day, and it's got a 1-to-6 primary arms LPVO on the top. And this is the first time I've shown that gun on the channel. That's like almost like a metallic gold FDE. It's like the prettiest color I've ever seen on a scope, and it's the first time it's on the channel. And that's a Bruce Banner custom rattle can camo paint job. And on the left is a Howa 1500 super light in 6.5 Creed with a Burris 4.5 to 14 second focal plane scope. And that gun is in 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's super light with the scope. It's under 7 pounds, and it's just light and fast. It's a great woods gun. Ditching that cigar. Totally missed my ash can, hoping the place don't go up in flames. But I'll be sitting here for a while with y'all, and you'll hear my firefighting skills go into action mode if it doesn't, if it blows up over here, burn the fucking garage down. Man, is that an AR-10 or 15? The 10-round magazine is deceptive. Well, it's kind of like there's a joke in here, but I'm probably not going to make it. Something like how deceptive the size is, and that's a theme around here, that it's deceptively large, but in reverse, because that is an AR-15 in chambered in 300 blackout, which is runs on the same bolt as your 223 and 5.56. It's 30 caliber bullet out of an AR shell, shortened AR shell, I think. Or cartridge case. So it's a 30 caliber bullet coming out of basically, and it's not even a shortened AR. Well, the case is shorter because the bullet's bigger. So 300 blackout, it's pretty common for hunting to people run 110s, 110 grain. I think somebody correct me if I'm wrong. All right, I managed to shut the alarm off without shutting the live off, so that was pretty good. So hey, it's wake up time. I like 300, so I think I ran 150 grain, if I'm not mistaken, and I could easily be mistaken. I think I ran 150 grain whitetail, but I definitely ran 308 and 150 grain whitetail. I don't remember. I think that was 150 grain, 300 blackout. Yeah, that sounds right. For supersonic. And then, your subsonic loads start about 190 and go up to about 220 grain. I think I had like 204 Winchesters, and I could be wrong about that, and or 205 Winchester. So 204 Winchester sounds about right. I've got plenty of 220 grains for subsonic. But I don't know if subsonic is going to still be subsonic out of a 16-inch barrel, but the velocity doesn't change a whole lot in 300 blackout, which is why the pistols work so good, because you don't have a huge velocity increase when you go from a 8-inch barrel to a 16-inch barrel in 300 blackout. And yes, the shit is fucking expensive, but in terms of hunting ammo, it's not. Because, 150 grain supersonic 300 blackout is not an expensive round compared to the subsonics. So that is a 16-inch 300 blackout AR-15, and it does have a matched rattle can 10-round magazine, because that is my hunting rig, and went out on opening day, took it out on opening day last season, and in this state you're only allowed 5 in the gun. You don't have to have a blocked magazine. So you take a 10-round magazine, but you can only have five rounds. One in the chamber, 4 in the mag, is how it is the law in the state. So I just run 10-round magazines because, the size and all that, and I don't want the bigger magazine hanging up the gun. All right, gotcha. I like 300 black, but the price of ammo, I agreed. You got a can for that, beauty? Not that one. I have a A2 flash hider on it, but I could swap it out for a 300 30 caliber muzzle brake. I do have a 30 caliber can. I actually, the 6.5 Creedmoor on the left is a 16-inch barrel, and I bought it with the intention of running it suppressed, and had a muzzle device on it. And I have a 357, 9mm can, which basically runs everything from 357 down to whatever. And I originally started setting that gun up for the can, but the JK Armaments can running off the HUB mount, the hub mount, is a screw-on, and it'll change your point of impact about 1 M away, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches with the can on it, which isn't a problem because you could just zero to the can, right? But once you zero to the can, you have to keep it on and keep it tight, because anytime you re-tighten the can, it's going to shift your point of aim, and I just didn't want to deal with that shit. So I just I had a semi-custom made muzzle brake put on there, radial muzzle brake, made by some guy in Pendleton, Oregon, named Oregon, and is the name of his shop in Pendleton. And he is the guy that Legacy Arms is the distributor for Howa recommended to. And that's a weird fucking thing, because almost any time you have a 6.5 Creedmoor, it's going to be, the thread pitch is going to be 5/8 by 24, which is the same as a 308, except that barrel's so skinny that it's got a 1/2 by 28 and a 6.5 hole in the middle. So that's like a nearly impossible thing to find on the open market. So I had to have it made by the guy who makes them for Howa, or who the Howa recommends, and it fits beautifully. It's like seamless. It looks great on there, and it shoots okay. Paul, subs and supers aren't that bad in stores out here. I think, except buy all my shit online. I mean, I'll go to Sportsman's and get shit if I need stuff or I'm heading to the range. I've got a Sportsman over by my work, and I got a Sportsman's on the way to the range. So 2 different ones, but they both work out for me. But I have no idea what the ammo is there. I buy it when I need it. It's always expensive. But usually, like, I bought like 150 grain supersonic for about 70 cents a round in bulk, maybe $1 a round in bulk at the most. And the subs have been about $1.50 a round, which is a little steep for wanton shooting, or I tend to run a lot of rounds in my ARs. Just go out and have a ton of fun with it. And so, like, when I do 2-gun competition, I do it in 5.56 because and I always take the same ammo. Like I'll take 100 rounds of ammo for the day from the same um, all for the same make. So there's very little variability. So I do have a can for all those beauties. I got on my 11-inch ARP build. I have and my other ARs that I run suppressed. I run a 30 caliber Dead Air Sandman S can. I run it on 223. It takes the bite out of the sound, but it's not quiet. Although I have heard 223 supersonic suppressed really well, just not out of my can. But the 300 blacks are very quiet with that can, and like almost as quiet as 9mm, but not quite. But then I have the 9mm can, which shoots everything from 357 on down, and I run that on for the hunting rifles because it's a real lightweight can, so you don't feel the weight of it out on the end of the barrel. It's still long, but it's not heavy. And I had that 6.5 Creedmoor set up for the can, and I have some other hunting rifles set up with the can, and I don't shoot the cans hardly at all. I run them on the 9mm pistol, and I run them on the I have that Dead Air can on the 11-inch AR, and they pretty much live there. And even though I'm set up for cans that can move to all the different guns, and oh my god, those fucking muzzle brakes are $100 each, like $90 for the Dead Air Chemo muzzle brakes, and shit up like $125 for the JK hub mounts, which is fucking ridiculous if you ask me. And it looks like there's a lot of machining that goes into them, but still, it's fucking abusively expensive. But I'm not that crazy about the cans, to be honest. I've been getting where I could have cans or threaded barrels on these PRS builds, and cans are popular for PRS, but I don't fuck with them, and I just order 11-inch crown barrels when I can, or if they have threads on it, I put a thread protector on it, and I don't put the cans on because it shifts your point of aim, or rather shifts your point of impact, and I'm just not all that excited about cans. And everyone's excited about cans. I'm not real that excited about cans. Alrighty. I had to buy 3 muzzle brakes for 3 of my firearms for my suppressor. Yeah, exactly. I do like the Chemo I think it's like a 3-port muzzle brake or a 4-port muzzle brake. I like that on the end of the AR. But for the most part, I like the suppressor mounts that are the 3-prong flash suppressors on the end of the ARs. And 4, right? Yeah. I don't even know how many of the fucking things I have, but I don't run the can that much. I run it on the 9mm ARP because that thing's really quiet and funny, but not funny. I mean, I guess everybody knows this, but I run the 9mm can on my wife's M&P 1522, and I have some shorts or videos on that, and that thing is ridiculously quiet and super fucking fun on steel. And I have some videos of that. And so that's it. EDC, what are you carrying today? What are you packing? I got a G48 strapped on right now, even though it's 8:10 in the morning. I'm sitting in my garage. The garage door is open, and I've been out here for a few hours, and since it was dark. So even though I'm in my garage, the garage door is open to the street, and I'm strapped in the wee hours, baby. Have you seen the new suppressor mount that connects to the out of the box flash hiders? I have seen that, and I don't think they're out of the box flash hiders, but they look like A2s, but they're cut a little different. And I remember there's like a button on it or something like that. But I have seen those. Um, the thing is that the, the cans will shift your point of aim, or excuse me, the cans will shift your point of impact. As far as I know, the only can mount that doesn't shift your point of impact is the Plan B with the Atlas Reardon muzzle brake. And so if somebody was starting out, I would just tell them to go with that. And they're not really all that expensive either. So I think they're about $90 for the muzzle device. So I think that's probably the way to go, especially for hunting rifles. Um, but for one MOA shift on at 100 yards when you're shooting in theory center mass, or you're practicing at center mass on a AR is not a lot to deal with because you're still center mass. Maybe not ideal for a hostage situation training, but or if we're shooting headshots on IPSC targets. But I think it's fine on an AR platform, but for a hunting rifle, you gotta have that consistent point of aim, point of impact. And from what I can tell, you're not going to get that with the that flash hider thing. But they say chemo doesn't do it, and I haven't tested it, and I don't think it's true. I think it's just the Plan Bs. Serafina Vale, good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming and welcome in. I have been I was got with my we were on vacation last weekend. I got to play a whole bunch on the plane. I got to play a whole bunch of your music from my wife, and we loved it. So thank you so much. For anyone who doesn't know Serafina, for everyone who's over in Papa's chat, you probably know Serafina well. But for anyone who doesn't know Serafina Vale, and feel free to put your Serafina.vale.official up in the chat. Serafina is an extremely talented country artist with a great voice and great lyrics, and she does it all herself. She writes it and does like most of the instruments or all the instruments. She's extremely talented and is killing it. This lady is the whole package, and wow, just super fans now. Godfather, does anyone carry the new Canic made for EDC? If you do, how do you like it? Well, I got the Canic MC9, which is I think what you're talking about. It's about the same size as a Glock 43X, and it takes a light and it's optic cut, and I hate the fucking thing. I don't think I have 100 rounds through it because I can't bring myself to shoot 100 rounds through it. I do like 1 mag, 2 mags, and I just put the fucking thing down because it bites ass. And it has a really stiff recoil spring. It's snappy as fuck. And I think they tried there were lighter weight recoil springs available initially, and you could run it on that, and then it had cycling problems, so Canic quit offering that, and you can probably find it aftermarket, but because of the cycling problems, I wouldn't recommend going that way, and the thing basically bites ass. And you can appreciate there's a big difference here between what I'm saying and what EDC's putting up in the chat, but I don't think mine's just the straight MC9. I don't think it's called a Prime. They had the long, and there's other. I think mine's just a straight MC9. I don't think it's the Prime. But the one that I have, I do not recommend to anyone. It was the first. So I carry, for my small carry, I carry a Ruger Max 9, and I love it. And it's a little snappy, but it's got a 4-pound trigger out of the box, and the thing's great. And it's like $299 with fiber optic sights and optic ready. And and I have 2 of them, and I love them. And they run great, and I use them for I'll compete with them, and they hit, and it shoots great. the Canik MC9 that I have is super fucking snappy. And I'd never shot a 43X before, and I put a 43X slide on a 48 frame, which essentially is a 43X. But I have a 48 that I'm carrying right now with a 4-pound trigger and flat face trigger. And as a Glock 48, it shoots amazing. But I put the 43X slide on it, and it's snappy as fuck also. And it's only a 1/2 inch difference in barrel length, and that thing bites fucking ass. And I probably did 40 rounds out of that, and put it down and put my 48 slide on it, and haven't done it since. So I'm very opinionated, and it's just one person's opinion, but I hate that fucking MC9, and I haven't shot. I shot it for about a month after I got it, and I hated it, and I probably don't even have 100 rounds through it. I heard after about 200 it gets better. It'd have to get a lot fucking better. So anyhow, I don't know if the MC9 Prime is different. And ED, every day, please. Yeah, I don't. Well, it is very. It's not anything like a 1911 trigger. You and I are definitely at odds on this, and I love you, and I'm not trying to be negative to you at all. But so Canik has a PDP trigger, and that's why I got it, because it's got a Walther trigger, licensed from Walther. And my competition gun is a PDP, and I love that fucking thing. And I have I have an Overwatch trigger spring in my PDP, and it's like a 3.5 pound trigger, 3-pound trigger. It's fucking wonderful. And the trigger in the Prime is in the Canik MC9 is fine. It's consistent with that. But the thing, all right. So the thing is just snappy, and the slide is extremely aggressively cut, and so I have to change my grip because I typically run my thumbs pretty close to her on the slide, and get the shit ripped out of my hand, and I fucking hate that gun. So, but then after shooting the 43X slide on the 48, which is a 43X, I just didn't buy it that way. It wasn't a whole lot better, and I didn't like that either. So I'm willing to work with that gun more. I just haven't, and we'll see. So I'm willing for it to be better. So EDC, thank you for your enthusiasm for the gun, and tell me if you, or tell us if you will, is the MC9 Prime different than the just regular MC9? So I bought the MC9, and it was just the MC9, as far as I know. And then a week later, they came out with the MC9L with the long slide, and then they came out, next week they came out with another variation on, they had all these variations to make it more like Glock 19, because it has a 15-round mag, just not in this state, and blah, blah, blah. I think, whatever, right? So they came out with all these variations, and then I was a little salty about that too, because everyone was talking about how great these other variations were, and I was stuck with the base model, which I thought sucked ass. And anyway, I'm sorry, man. I'm just fucking going off here. Yeah, I am notoriously not happy with the MC9, and I thought it was a replacement for the I thought it was going to be a replacement for the Ruger Max 9, because the Ruger Max 9 is really small and it doesn't have any cuts for a light. So I thought, okay, well, let me go a little bigger and get the MC9 and put a TLR7 something on it, TLR7 sub on it, which I did, and I had a custom holster made for it, and I fucking hate it. Oh, thanks, Serafina. Serafina, you're good, we're listening. Well, I'm going to stop in a second here. So anyway, I'm going to give that gun another chance, not because I like it or I expect to like it a lot more, but because I didn't like the 43X any more than I liked it, or slightly more than I liked it. Like they were both so snappy that I'm willing to go with, okay, that's just a feature of if you get below a 4-inch barrel, it just sucks. But that's not at all the case with the Ruger Max 9, which is a massively underrated gun that suffered bad marketing because they sent that gun to Honest Outlaw, who's probably the biggest news and YouTube gun reviewers, and the guy's 6'4" and he's got massive paws, and he hated it because it's small. And basically every gun that he reviews that is small, he hates and gives a bad review. And that was also like the death knell to the Smith & Wesson CSX, which is a 1911, just on a smaller scale. It's about the size of an officer size, 1911. And we have that gun for my wife because it was the first of the micro 9s that you could set up for a lefty. And it's a great gun, and she loves it, and I've shot it, and I think it's a really super solid gun, but because it's small, we sent it to reviewers with giant hands, and they hated it. And the same thing with the Max 9. Paulie, I am ranting like you, baby. Paul Wick is famous for his rants, and when he gets going, he doesn't stop, and I'm doing the same thing right now, so hats off to you, Paulie. But anyhow, yeah, the Max 9 got really shitty reviews, and it's a great gun, and I'm the only person who likes it, and I have two of them. I have one with no safety for carrying in a Kydex holster, and one with a safety for a pocket carry when I don't have a holster. And I absolutely love that gun, and I shoot it in competition, and it hits just great. 4-pound trigger thing, just smooth, and it's snappy, but it's not anywhere near as snappy as the fucking Canik MC9. And not anywhere near as snappy as the 43X slide that I run on my 48 frame. So I have a 48, take the slide off, put a 43X slide on it. That literally is a 43X because they run on the same frame, but I didn't buy it as a 43X, so that's why I make that distinction. But anyway, I will keep trying that gun when I get around to going back to the pistol range. I'm not shooting a lot of pistol right now. And I'll even do a fucking video on it and talk shit about it the whole time. Unless I actually start to like it, but the chance of that is really small. The question is, will I hate it less, is really what I'm saying. Like I'm willing to hate that gun less than I currently hate it, which is literally like my least favorite gun in the house at the moment. So anyhow, sorry DC, I know I'll never see you back at the channel again, and I appreciate your enthusiasm. I don't know what the MC9 Prime is, but apparently I'm going to guess it's a different gun, and it's wonderful, and I don't have it, and I'm so fucking salty about the MC9 I do have that I'll probably never buy another Canik, even though they're supposed to be good range gun, good competition guns. But I have my PDP is my a 5-inch slide PDP on a compact frame, PDP compact frame, PDP 5-inch slide, light trigger, and then I have all the bronze. I have a tungsten guide rod in it, the heaviest light that I could find, which is like a Night Force TWM30. It's about a TLR 1 size light, but it's even bigger and heavier. It's like 4 batteries or some shit like that. And I have a brass back strap for it and a brass magwell, bronze magwell and a bronze back strap for it. And so that basically it weights the base of it a lot, gives it much better balance because that slide's really heavy. And that's my race gun, and I really love the PDP. And right now, for the last few months, I've been seeing PDPs on sale for about $4.50 cheeseburgers. And my opinion, and it's strictly my opinion, is if you can get a PDP for $4.50, why would you bother getting a Canik? And anyhow, yeah, exactly, Godfather. These guys are fucking huge. They got massive. Now I have big hands, and big feet, but my hands are thick because I'm like 6 foot, and I have big hands, but I have meaty hands, but they fit on the those frames really well. Like I have Glock 19s, I have Glock 19 size guns, I have lots of clones, I got daggers and shit like that, and they fit on a 19, but they fit better on a 17 or a 47. And the Glock 20 fits wonderfully in my hand, and I love that gun. And to me, the I said the Glock. Well, I had 47. My 47 is my nightstand gun, but I just bought a Glock 20 for to wear fishing in Alaska, and I did, and 10 millimeter. And to me, that does not recoil a lot more than 9 millimeter, and I don't think anybody else would agree with me on that. But I mean, your follow-up shots are not as fast as with a 9 millimeter, but it's not bad at all, and I really like shooting 10 millimeter. So anyhow, that's where we're at, and I'm gonna fucking stop now. Also, it's 8:30, and I have to be in the shower and get to work at 8:45. It's 8:27 on my phone, on my clock, and I have to be in the shower at 8:45 and go to work. And I only planned on popping on for a minute, and while I did some other work on my computer, figuring there'd be no one here, and I would just be like typing away and getting my reports done from yesterday, and that didn't happen. But I don't regret it at all, because this has been a great live, and we've had a bunch of people here, and hopefully you all are subscribed to my channel. Serafina, I'm calling out my name, I'm sorry. Anybody who's not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and turn your notifications on, so we can grow this thing. And Serafina, I think maybe you are already subscribed, and I appreciate that very much. But yeah, hey, this has been a great live, and I appreciate you guys. I don't even know what the numbers are, because I'm looking at my computer and not my phone, so I don't know how many people have been here. But it's been a very productive morning and a very productive live, and I've been busy and chatting with you guys, and so I've already said about 4 days worth of words, and I haven't even gone to work yet. So thanks for being here and having me ranting. EDC, I'm sure you ran the fuck out of here. No, I don't. I'm sorry if I scared you off and I didn't agree with you about that gun, and I respect your opinion, because you carry a lot of stuff. You have a lot of guns and stuff, and we'll give that gun another chance. Maybe I can be converted. Yes, you are sub. Thank you so much, Serafina. And I thought you were, because we did that a few days ago. Hey, thank you for coming on. So once again, for anyone who's still here, on the right is my 300 blackout 16-inch AR hunting platform, deer season platform, with a 1-6 primary arms and the prettiest color I've ever seen a scope in. It's like metallic FDE or metallic gold. And on the left is a Howa 1500 super light with a Burris 4.5 to 14 second focal plane scope, and real lightweight, under 7 pounds as she sits. Thank you all very much for being here. Serafina, it's an honor and a privilege to have you here. Special call out for you and your wonderful music. We're fans, and we're going to be listening to you a lot in the future, and look forward to seeing all your wonderful content. Godfather, thank you for being here. EDC, thank you for coming in, even if I hope I didn't run you off. And everybody, thanks very much. I shut it down. Gotta go to work. That's my real job. This is just a pretend. This ain't a job. This is a hobby, and a fun one at that. Thank you guys very much. Oops. Never gonna find that fucking mouse now.